Oh, hey everyone, how you doing? Yeah, we're just haven't done a live broadcast for a little while, so we figured we would do that. So we'll tell you what we've been up to. We did a couple mines out on the Coquihalla, and so what we're doing next is a really kind of interesting story. So there's a company called Klondike Silver. Now, silver's kind of interesting. Hey, how you doing? Silver's kind of interesting. There was no underground silver mines in Canada, but recently there's one that's set up called Alexa Resources. That's up at Keno City. So they're the only underground silver mine in Canada that's operating. There's another silver mine that's just that's in Sandon here. It's called Klondike Silver. So what's kind of interesting about Klondike Silver is their stock market. The stock prices were last February were a cent and a half a share. It's a small producer. Their shares shot up to 27.5 cents last January. So we're going, what the heck is going on with this? With the silver, with this mine. So the stock market stepped in and said, well, what's going on? How come this? Why has the price gone way up? And they put out a release and said there's no reason that we can think of. So we've been to this mine, and we're gonna have a kind of a series. We're gonna go back to Sandon, meet with Hal Wright, and we're gonna go into this mine. We got a whole bunch of good footage and really good history of this mine. We're gonna explain the whole process, show the whole mine to you, and it'll be really interesting. So, all right, so we're just gonna do some questions. About mines and stuff like that. We're going to go to Sandon and do some stuff there. I don't know if you guys seen some shows that we did with Hal Wright, and Sandon's pretty cool. So with that mines, we're going to go to that mine. Like I say, silver's kind of a funny thing. The price is going crazy now because of COVID. So do any mines cross the Canadian-U.S. border? Yeah, there is one here. It's not active anymore, but just south of Grand Forks. I can't remember what it's called, but they were getting the ore from the States and trucking it across to a mill up at Phoenix years ago. So are you the real dwarf miner? Hmm. What's your favorite mine in Arizona? Geez, I don't know. That'd be kind of hard to answer. I don't know. I'd have to kind of think about that. And we've seen some pretty cool mines there. I guess, we're like the big ones with lots of cool stuff in it. We roped into some really cool ones. So Goli's there, but he's just starting to get into going into roping some of these tough ones. But yeah. So I hope you guys are all, the price is going crazy because of Game Shop Reddit. That's another weird thing. And so I'm thinking about what it is actually about the stock market is if you want to invest in a mine, a silver mine or something like that. Now, lots of you guys, we go underground and say, oh, there's some silver ore or something. You think, oh, you should reopen that and make a bunch of money. It's a lot more complicated than that. We're going to get into all that. Just because there's a little bit of ore there doesn't mean you're ever going to make any money at it, where you can mine it at a profit. So it's pretty complicated. So we're going to get into all that. And the thing is, if you want to invest in a silver mine or something like that, if you look on the stock market and you get a little information, there's no stock or any mine that I know of where you could actually go underground and look at their workings and talk to the geologist and them really tell you what's going on. They feed you a little bit of information, really. And so if the market's going crazy doing this and that, it's not, that valuation is not based on reality, because people just can't get the information in there and they really don't know about it. So we're going to try to get into that and educate people more about the value of a mine and the whole thing. We're going to go through it. It'd be pretty interesting. So, all right, what are we drinking? Rum and Coke? No, just drinking beer. So, yeah.
Lots of questions on here. When are you going back to Antioch?
Well, hi, Sharon. So Sharon's here with me. She'll help us out with the questions. Antioch is an interesting question. So Lyle, who was the guy that was running Antioch, his health is going, and he was thinking about maybe stepping down. He's still there. So my buddy Kevin was going to try to take that job. So we're trying to get him kind of lined up. And Lyle, if he's not there too much longer, then we'll have an inn in Antioch. So it'd be like a second home. We can go up there anytime we want.
They're asking about Goli's snozzolator, if you'd give it a whirl.
So I had a chat with him this morning. We phoned him about it. I seen the video. So I don't know. So we got a bunch of comments about it. Basically, I would just say, hey, Thanks, Vandana. Just gave me $10. Thank you. So I had a bunch of comments about the schnozzolator and stuff like that. First of all, the first thing I would say about the whole thing is Einstein said, things should be as simple as possible, but no simpler. So that'd be the one principle I would say about the schnozzolator. So the one good thing that he's doing there is the idea is a good idea is when you're going down a shaft, or it's a big shaft, you don't want the rope touching on the side. So it's good to have something centered over the hole that's not touching the side. That's good. Personally, what I would do is just take an A-frame, like an A-frame, and then have it on a vehicle at an angle like that, and then dangle down there going down the hole. Much simpler. You really don't need a winch to pull you up and all that. It makes it a lot more complicated. It could be a lot simpler. So there's a lot of good ideas about it. Having said that, I told him, I said, I didn't see any significant safety concerns. I think, it's safe enough, so that's kind of the main thing. So if it makes them happy playing around with it, go ahead. I'm not going to be building one. So, and also, for the way they have it set up is basically if we're going down a couple hundred feet, we can go down a couple hundred feet easy on our own steam up and down a lot faster. And I think probably, just a lot easier.
There's Marlo. Hi, Marlo.
Hi, Ernest, or not Ernest, Craig. Pretty cool that the last mine we went into. Thanks for coming along too. The one we said where we couldn't release the video is the one that Craig was there on, and I don't know. It's so the only reason we didn't release it is because there was an ore bucket in there, and we didn't want to release it because someone would go get it before we can get it for a museum. So we got that. It was kind of fun anyway. So
we asked if we sell shirts.
Do we sell shirts? Yeah, if we do though. So these are new shirts and stuff we got.
Those aren't new. You got an old
one. Oh, that's the old one.
You took your other one off.
Yeah, that's the old one. Yeah, we have shirts and stuff. If you go to eammerch.com, you can get a shirt. All right.
Adam and Cheyenne says hi too.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah. All right, so if I didn't answer your questions because I was too busy yapping, you can ask again. Maybe I'll be less busy. I don't know. We'll see. There's got like 139 people on here, and the questions are going by pretty fast. All right. So we're going to be going into. We've got some really cool mines we've been into. Some big mines. We can't tell you too much about it. So we're going to do this interview in Sandon. If you guys have seen Hal Wright, he's the guy that has the oldest running machine in Canada that's running. It's the power plant from the Silversmith mine. It's really cool. Been running since the 1800s. And then he's got an old steam locomotive, and he's lived there his whole life. He's in his 60s. Lived there since he was 15 or 17. And he just the most awesome guy as far as history and mines. He's a miner, trucker, equipment operator. Knows, just a real cool guy. So you're going to see that next week. We're going to have an interview with him. It's really interesting. All right. Okay.
Have you ever looked back at your early vids and thought, why the hell did I do that?
Not so much, but I'm kind of disappointed on the quality of the video, and said a lot of stupid things. So I don't think we made a lot of mistakes because, obviously didn't get injured or anything like that. But I do stupid things all the time, just the last couple of weeks. So, I fell into a hole and ended up to my tits in water, which is way above my normal, comfort zone. And it's just, sloppy, something stupid. You're learning stuff all the time. Yeah. Gold pay dirt supplier. Yeah.
Remy Mack said hi. Now he says Queen and King Monkeys.
Okay. Yeah, he was one of our favorite guys. Thanks. Sharon likes him. He always says nice stuff about her, so kind of sucks up to her, which is a good idea. Always says her pictures are nice, and they are. All right. Can you put chat on slow mod? I think you have to do when setting up. I don't know. That would be the.
What is that for?
Beyond our technical capabilities. So I don't know if you guys seen this. This new show is called Ghost Town Living in Cerro Gordo. This kind of a city guy that's moved into this abandoned ghost town, and the channel's just gone crazy. He's got, 700,000 subscribers in 9 months. He's got 500,000 people to watch everything he does. He hasn't been in mines all that much. We actually tried to reach out to him. He said, well, we wouldn't mind coming visiting him, and but he's not talking to us, but I mean, he gets, 50,000 comments every day. He probably can't even read all this stuff, but yeah.
That guy said he saw an explorer find one of your beers. We saw that the other day.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. There's when we were in
Atolia.
Atolia, we had a Corona. Actually, we found it laying in the yard, and I thought, well, I'll stick it in my pocket. If I get real desperate, I'll drink it. And it was warm and it was down there, and I didn't get desperate enough to drink it, but I left it there with my card for somebody else to drink. And a guy went down there, and I can't remember, Western Mine Detective or something. He went down there and found it. So he didn't drink it; it's still there. So you guys you guys go down there and get it if you want. So the other thing is we obviously can't get in the States this year. Most Americans don't know that. So the border between Canada and the States is closed. There's only like truckers and essential stuff. You can't go across there. You used to be able to fly down there. I don't even think you can anymore. You might be able to, but if you could, you had to quarantine for weeks at a government hotel, and you have to have a test and all. It's just crazy. It's no good for us because we can't go down there with our quad and our motorhome and all that kind of stuff and camp down and check out mines. It's no good for us to be able to fly down and stay in hotels because there's no hotels around the mines where we go to. Yeah, so we're up here in Canada. We got lots of cool stuff to do here, so it's not much of a problem. We actually got some cool stuff we did with the Glide last year that we haven't released. I don't know when I'll get around to editing. I keep talking about it. I haven't done it yet, but if we get bored, we'll do that. The schnozzulator, yeah, no. And mainly, guy says, this is all for entertainment, and that's keeping you guys entertained. So I guess you're watching the videos. So I guess it's doing its job, right? And that's part of the reason why we do this is entertainment. But we're also trying to document. For us, we're trying to save as many artifacts as we can and try to document them. And one thing I find really interesting since the time I've been doing this, and I'm kind of one of the old timers in this racket and YouTube and stuff is. A lot of other people are doing this. It's kind of a lot more people are interested in it, and we don't have all the answers. We're not experts on everything, but we're pointing out at least some of the dangers. If people decide to go underground by watching our stuff, they won't go in. Hopefully without oxygen monitors at least, and lots of lights and just some basic safety stuff that people would never. People have been exploring mines forever. So hopefully they can get a little bit of a heads up as to some of the dangers and risks involved and be a little smarter than if they hadn't watched our stuff, at the very least, right? Yeah.
Do you get worried about being trapped?
You know what? I don't really worry about stuff too much. We ended up underground last week at a mine that we can't tell you where it is, but you'll see it eventually. And we were lost for 3 hours. And really lost. We were just going around in circles. Oh, fuck. We've been here. I've seen this 3 times. Which way do we go now? We don't know which way. We were just on one level. This is a huge mine. We're on one level. We were on the right level to get out. And the first time, we've been in there a few times. The first time we went in, we stuck to the right-hand rule. And I know my way around. And then we go in the second time. We didn't stick to that rule. Totally lost. We're just seeing the same thing over and over again. And it gets to the point where we don't really know which way we should go to try to get out because everything we do is wrong. So, that was kind of fun. So that'll be a cool video eventually too. You guys can laugh at us.
So there's a bunch of people asking about Cerro Gordo, and we've tried to contact him, but he hasn't got back
we have.
to us.
So when we were down in Arizona last year, we went to Castle Dome. We found those 7-8 pairs of jeans or whatever. Now, there's a guy, his name is Britt Eaton. He's a real expert on denim. He goes all over America. He's a real cool guy, too. He did some TV shows. Brett at Cerro Gordo, he found some old denim, and he was talking to Britt. So he dropped his name. And I know Britt. I've got his number. He's a real cool guy. So I phoned him up and said, hey, Brent at Cerro Gordo. And he said, oh, yeah, I talk to him now and again. I've known him for years. And I said, well, we'd like to go up there and do some stuff with him, do a little collab, because, he's got a cool channel, lots of people watch the show. Oh, yeah, I'll give you his number, and I'll talk to him about you. And he did, and he said, oh, yeah, he wants to talk to you and all that, but this never happened. So, but the problem is the border's closed now, and it's gotten even tougher to get into the States. So I don't know how we'd be able to do it now. We'd like to do it. I think he's just real busy. He's making a shitload of money. We make... I don't know, tell you what we're going to make on YouTube, but I bet you he's making $50,000 a month off his YouTube. So, why would he want to talk to us, I guess, eh? Anyhow, some other interesting stuff.
They're going by way too fast now.
Yeah. Did Haida people mine? I know there's natives that did mine for chert and flint and stuff like that for for making tools and stuff like that. But Haida's not that I know of. I know what Headley they did mine there.
Any mines in the Sierras in California? We were
in Atolia, right? So we were in
yeah.
Atolia. That's near Randsburg. There's some pretty cool mines in the desert there. I'll just let it zip by. I mean, if you can't catch it, can't catch it.
You need a coyote to smuggle you across the border?
Coyote? Yeah. Well, the problem is that, they have, in the States, they got something called for-profit jails. So they throw your ass in jail and, the sheriff's cousin runs the jail. So they're not in a big rush to let you out. So I'm thinking they could work me like a dog down there. And I'm already gray, so I don't want to be old and gray in a prison in the States. So we try to follow the rules as best as we can.
Lots of people saying hi from Spain, from Scotland, from Australia. I think it would be fantastic for you, Frank, to work with Brett from the ghost town. Yeah, but that's not happening.
Yeah, no, like I said, we reached out to him. We'd like to go down there, and I don't know. It seems kind of cool. That isn't the coolest ghost town. I mean, Sandon here in BC here. Hats off to him. He's got lots of success with the show and stuff, but he's got some relatively small mines. There's not really that much up there. There's cooler stuff around. There's even in the States and in Arizona that, Wickenburg, up at Wickenburg, there's the Vulture Mine, ghost towns and stuff. There's lots of cool stuff in the States and Canada stuff too. So, so he's gotten really famous and stuff for whatever reason, I don't know. But what he's doing is not really that unique. There's lots of ghost towns, and a lot of them got way cooler mines and cooler stuff than what he has. But whatever, hats off to him. He's doing well. Any European mine adventures in the future? Well, we can't even get out of, we'd love to go to lots of places, but it's difficult. I mean, if we can jump in our truck on our side by side and travel out in the desert and go around, it makes it pretty easy. But if you got to fly somewhere, pay for hotels, you don't know the language, rent a vehicle and all that, it gets pretty expensive, and you really can't find something. So you want to try to make it as easy as you can, where you can get a whole bunch of cool mines, and be able to speak the same language. Like even going to Mexico, it's difficult because, so why not make things as easy as possible? I mean, there's thousands of mines, I would say, within, 5-hour drive from where we live. So why would we want to go to the other side of the globe to find a mine when there's lots of mines here? So maybe there should be more Australian channels that explore their mines, and we'll explore them. It doesn't make a lot of sense for us to fly down to Australia to explore mines. Your museum is amazing. Yeah, thanks. And so we do some videos that we don't get a lot of views and all that, but it's not the reason we're doing it. The stuff that we did at the museum is more to explain mining. I think that's kind of interesting. And the same stuff where we're going to be talking to Hal and stuff. There's a lot of really good information that we could pass over to the next generation about mining and stories and people and all this kind of stuff. So we do a bunch of that stuff, not necessarily get a lot of views on YouTube, but we think it's important. And that's why we do the museum too.
Have you heard Adventure with Purpose, a YouTube channel?
We have not. No, we haven't heard that. No. Do you still make them white noise recorders in for bats? We don't. They got a whole bunch of money. So in Canada here, they have, there was a big lake we dammed up, and they get the power from the States. So basically they pay some kind of a royalty. So they got a bunch of this money that they get for funding. And they accessed a bunch of this funding to do wildlife research on bats and stuff like that. So they had all this money. So they hired us to help them do all that kind of stuff. And they spent their money, and they kind of went on their way and did whatever they did with the data. So there isn't a whole bunch more money available for that. And they hired us because we had expertise in the mines and with the bats. So no, we haven't done anything with them lately.
We said get a better webcam. We were just trying to use the GoPro for a webcam, but this computer only has Windows 8, and we needed Windows 10, so we didn't have much luck with that.
Says the northern border is closed, the southern border is open. Yeah, I don't know. Well, from Canada, they've canceled all the flights to Mexico and the Caribbean, so you can't fly down there anymore. So, I mean, it's just difficult. I mean, there's uh, technically you can fly into the States, but the quarantines and all the paperwork and all the bullshit, it makes it, yeah, it's not practical. Put it that way. Nusselman, he gave us $7. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate a little bit of change in the pocket. It'll buy us another round, right? So, Adventures with Purpose pulls cars out of lakes and rivers. There was a time when you could upgrade Windows 8 to 10. I would never do that. Windows 8's way better than 10. I've got two computers. Well, actually, I got three. I've got a laptop and two computers. This one's got Windows 8 on it. It works way better than the new one. It's 10 years old. I like it way better than the new one that's got Windows 10 on it. I use Windows 10 for doing my editing and stuff. And that's the other thing. We get all kinds of offers from video editing stuff. They want to pay us so much money. I says, well, forget it. I'm just going to use Windows 8 or Movie Maker 8 till I die because it's easy. I can use it. I'm not much of a geek. So I'm not really into the latest and greatest things. If I find something that works good, I'm just going to use it. I don't care what the latest and greatest thing is. I don't even have my phone is like a flip phone, right? Because you drop it in the water or something. These new phones, it's $1,000 for a new phone. I just need a phone that I can talk on. I would never text on a phone. It's a huge waste of my time. I can talk way faster than I can text. Well, I'm starting to foam at the mouth there.
Exactly.
I'm old school all the way.
Next subject.
One of my computers still has XP. We're not here to debate computers. The best computer is one that works.
True.
That's the best computer. All right, give us some more questions on mines. What hobbies do I have other than mines? I like doing a little baking. No. Sharon bakes sourdough bread. I eat it. That's the other hobby we have other than mines. Yeah. All right. Cody give us $5. Love the show and the fact you take risks to make it more intense to watch. Actually, we don't. Well, I don't know what you call risks and what you're comfortable with. What I'm comfortable with, it might look crazy to you, but it's not a big deal to me. So it's more a matter of perspective. It depends on what you're used to doing. Yeah. Everybody, please smash the like button.
Have you ever found any gold or silver veins in a collapse of any kind?
We have, especially the one. So the mine we're going to be going into, which is up at Sandon there, that Klondike Silver's mine. There was a pillar up there that collapsed, and there was a whole bunch of huge galena ore. There's a piece of it here. Perhaps my lovely young assistant could show it to you. So that's what happens. Sometimes if they have pillars, they leave them standing up to hold the back up. If they collapse, then a whole bunch of ore comes out. So here's a chunk here. So this is a chunk of silver ore. It probably weighs, I don't know.
It's pretty heavy.
It's heavy. I don't know what it weighs, how many pounds it weighs, but it's very rich in silver. So that's the ore that they mined back in the old days.
Do you have
Yeah.
any claims? Are you mining any of them?
I do not have any claims, and I don't have enough money to be well. Okay, well, let's back up and explain a little bit about mining to you guys. I mean, there was a time about 120 years ago, when prospectors could go into the hills, they find a little vein on the surface, they could dig that out with the wheelbarrow, take it down to the local smelter, and they would smelt it down, give them some gold or silver, and they would walk away. Those days are long and gone. It doesn't work that way anymore. There isn't any more smelters anywhere in the country that will do any of that smelting. The only way you could mine if you found a deposit of silver or gold, it's not like on Gold Rush. You can't crush it up and run it through a sluice box. That's not how low gold works. You'd have to run it through a mill. Gold is usually microscopic. And then that concentrate would normally go to a smelter that would have to be offshore somewhere. So mining isn't lode mining is not a mom and pop operation. You can't just take stuff down to any smelter. There used to be 4 of them within 50 miles from here 150 years ago or 120 years ago. There's none now. The laws, all that stuff's changed. So if I go into a mine and see a little bit of rich ore that I think has got some gold in it, it does me absolutely no good. I couldn't do nothing with it. And I don't even own it because probably someone's got the mineral rights to it. So the mining today is, it's not a mom and pop operation. There's big corporations that do big open pits with a little bit of gold, and they can mine it. It doesn't work on a small scale. Times have changed. So, all right, Clayton, give us $10. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Frank. Hope all is well. Here's a little bit of dollars for your awesome adventures. Be safe, my friend. Thank you, Clayton. We are and have been safe so far. So, and what really, so you guys probably don't realize this, but we get a fair bit of money from YouTube. And I don't know, maybe talk about it all that much, but it pays pretty much most of our expenses. And we really, so by you guys just watching our stuff or sharing it on your Facebook or something, that is a huge help for us. It basically pays our expenses to do all the stuff we do, and we really thank you for that. And for Christmas, and Sharon got a brand new harness, and the harness, the Bodfast harness we have, and we're going to do a show on all our equipment and our safety stuff. That there's $1,700, eh? But it's the top of the line stuff, and we do enough of it, so. We're really grateful for you guys kind of supporting us by watching the stuff and giving us a few dollars. And that all helps, and it allows us to do what we do safely. And we really don't try to take any risks that are going to put us in jeopardy for entertainment. Believe it or not. Have you guys ever been to Scotland? I have not. I don't believe any of us. Linda Beck, Frank and Sharon, hi from up the road in Calscar. Hi, we've been up in some mines in that area, but we can't talk about it.
You should go back and visit some of the earlier mines. Your show has advanced so much.
Yeah, so that's one thing that we're probably going to have to do next week. So we're going to have this interview with Hal, and it's kind of a really in-depth thing about mining history. I think you'll find it really interesting. We're not going to go underground. But part of that is leading into, there was a mine that we went to called the Hope Ruth. It was in, I think, episode 130 or something like that. And it was fascinating. We went into this huge mine, we spent 8 hours underground. We come up through 600 feet of raises and stuff. And we ran into miners that were working in an operating mine while doing some exploring in there. They didn't even know the two mines connected. And that's going to be kind of a lead into this whole show about this Klondike Silver and all that kind of stuff. So, but that's an old mine that went into that probably most of you guys haven't seen, and it's a really cool show. So, yeah.
Gold Chaser says I have a cool present for your museum. I think it said it was Clint.
Oh, okay. I think Clint came here to my museum. Sorry, my memory is not as good as it could be. So there's a lot of people come here and they tell me who they are or whatever. And the other thing is that people email me. We got I don't know how many people every week. They say, "Oh, we'd like to go explore a mine with you." So it very rarely works out for a couple of reasons. First of all, we're pretty yeah. We're pretty advanced in the stuff that we're doing as far as the climbing stuff and all that. So if you don't have your own equipment and you're not familiar with rope stuff, you just can't come with us. It's not safe to. I would not want to put anyone else into danger by coming with us because you just don't have the skills and equipment that we have. And then the other thing is, if you live in New York City and say, "Oh, I'd like to explore a mine with you sometime," well, it ain't going to happen because you live 4,000 miles from here anyhow. So, yeah.
Have you ever used a carbide lamp?
Yes, we did. In some of our old mines, I got a whole bunch of carbide lamps in the museum. I have carbide. We filled it up, and we if you look at our old shows, we've got like 230 some odd episodes we've done. Carbide lamp in the Remac, I think we use a carbide lamp. It hardly has any light at all. It's like a candle. It's like about 5 candles. So very little light. Very tough mining back then, guys. The lights we have now are just fantastic. And that's another thing. We got some really cool lights. There's brand new lights that just come out. Fenix, they give us some cool lights. We'll do some shows on it. We'll show you that. And they got a new light out. And what happens with this? All these different manufacturers, they send us all these lights and stuff. And I look at them. If I like them, I'll talk about them. If I don't like them, I won't talk about them. They don't give me any money for it. I get the free light. Whether I say anything good or bad about it, I don't care if you buy it or not. So if it's something that could be benefit to you guys that are maybe going underground or something like that, I'll give you an honest review about it. I don't get any money out of it one way or the other, but there's some really cool lights. Phoenix showed us some really cool. They got some really cool stuff, and watch out. We'll show it to you.
Are there any mine cats in Canada?
There is not. No, that's a southern thing. They're way down. So as usual, beers on me. It looks like Canada missed today. Thanks, Paul. Oh, maybe I can get another one. He just bought me one, right?
Maybe you
Is there?
How?
I'll give you some money. Jump in the fridge.
Oh, I'm gonna get paid, sure.
Yeah, mine cats are only in Arizona, and they're the state animal of Arizona. So they're really cool to see the mine cats. I don't know if you guys seen that. When me and Gly were into a mine, we found a couple mine cats in there. They're really inquisitive and just cute, really cute. Not that scared of people. If you go to pet them, they'll probably bite you. But they can work in the total darkness. I think they mostly eat bats, though. But there's lots of bats in Arizona, so yeah, they were one of the neatest animals I ever seen. And miners used to keep them as pets. So what they do is they're nocturnal, so they just have a little box for them under the stove, and they would sleep there during the daytime, and then at night they'd run around and kill the rats and mice and stuff in the camp. And yeah, so miners they call them miners' cats. They're really cool. There's actually a guy in Quartzsite. I don't know if you guys know what Quartzsite is, but it's kind of a big mining place in Arizona where they sell rocks and minerals. There's a guy that goes around and has a mine cat for a pet. So he goes around and people pet it, feed it, or whatever. It's like a cat, you know. So
Somebody says they think that you've got me well trained.
no comment on that. She's very nice to me. I have nothing bad to say about Sharon. I don't know who's training who. Yeah. All right. So you're big time, Frank. You got a beer assistant. Smack him, Sharon. Oh, you didn't read that, did you?
I already did.
Yeah. Quartzsite is awesome. You looked into Calico gold mines. No, we weren't. I haven't heard of that one. What kind of drink do you have? I don't know. You guys probably never seen this before, and it's not even common in Canada. It's called Caribou or something, but see, it's 8% alcohol, so that's the redeeming factor. Because you're not running back and forth to the bathroom all the time, eh? It's not like you're drinking this light beer and whatever. I think people know my thoughts on light beer. A mine cat is a ringtail cat. Yeah, it's the same
Looking at
thing.
the first few episodes, and you have come so far. Awesome work. Maybe she's got him well trained.
You know what? One of the coolest things about this channel is I made a lot of mistakes when I first come in because I didn't know that much about mines. Sort of looking there and trying to figure out how stuff was, and you see a tool or something like that, and you say, "Oh, well, this did that or whatever." But a lot of actual miners and people actually know way more than I did, maybe more than I do now. They say, "Hey, you're a dumbass. This is that, not that," and then so that really helped build my knowledge and stuff. When people correct me if I make a mistake on identifying something or a term or whatever, so that kind of really helped us out quite a bit.
At the Caroline mines, how far of a run is it after the gate from the Coca-Cola to the mine? Can it be walked, or do I need to?
Why do you want to steal that ATV? Well, first of all, there's 5 feet of snow in there, eh? So
You could walk. It's a long walk.
yeah. So we ended up driving as far as we could into the snow. There wasn't any snow at the bottom. We drove as far as we could until we got stuck, and then unloaded the sled and drove up there. It wasn't that far. So the Caroline's kind of interesting. I mean, it was a big gold producer in its day, and then they raised a bunch, $37 million in the stock market, built that big mill and all that kind of stuff up there. But they're a bunch of dumbasses. They didn't know what they were doing. They lost about half of the gold they produced out of there. So that's another thing that telling you guys. So there's no visible gold there. They run it through a mill. They crushed it. There was a crusher inside there. They crushed it. They ran through a ball mill, then a rod mill, and a flotation thing. We ran through a circuit. and but they lost about half the gold. That half the gold is in the tailings. The problem is they had so much rain there. The tailings pond overflowed. They used cyanide in part of the process. It poisoned all the fish in the creek. The government shut the whole thing down, and it's just been a gong show ever since. Silver is up. I don't know how far up it is. About $25 an ounce last I heard. So, but people are thinking it's going to go to two. There's people, well, whatever. People say all kinds of stuff, but there's a large community that think that silver could possibly go to $200 an ounce. And if it does, and this happened back in the 80s, so all these little gold mines that weren't worth nothing, or silver mines that weren't worth much, when the price all of a sudden goes tenfold, they can make money from silver just about anywhere. All of a sudden, all these things become viable. So that changes everything, and that's always happened historical too. Way back in the 1890s, the silver went up and down, and it makes for pretty exciting times in the whole mining thing. And we'll talk about all that next week when we talk about silver mines and the stock market and Klondike Silver. Is Sharon drinking moonshine? Oh, hope not. No, she's just drinking water. I love the old wooden ore cars. I found some of the mines in western Pennsylvania. So you're probably dealing with coal mines. So that's always an important thing that we tell people. So the precautions we take, we're in hard rock mines. As far as gases and hazards, completely different coal mines. If you're thinking of ever going to a coal mine, don't pay any attention to what we're doing. It's completely different.
Bunch of people saying about Cerro Gordo again, so.
Do you explore with other YouTube explorers? Yeah, last week we were with Adam and Cheyenne from Adventures or Us. So they're young people that are getting into that. So we like to try to kind of help them out a little bit because they're really cool. But the next generation is we're not going to be around forever. We're getting older, and so it's kind of cool to get other people kind of following our footsteps that are documenting this kind of stuff and learning about it. So. We kind of like to help them a little. Have you invested in a mine? In the stock market, I play the market a little bit. So this mine we're going into, I have no money invested in that, so that's not the reason we're doing that. I've made some money in mines, but it's kind of a hobby a little bit here and there on the stock market. What sort of gas detector do you use? We had a Honeywell oxygen monitor, which is actually really good. You can't get them in Canada. They're really hard to get them. You turn them on, they're good for 2 years, and you can't turn them off, you can't do nothing with them. They're on all the time, and they're really cool. And it just tells you the oxygen gets below 19.5. The one we got from China. It's a 4-gas detector. You got to charge it up every time. And when you take it out, probably a little better of a detector. It might last longer, and it detects 4 gases. I don't know if we really need that for what we do, but that's the one we got now. So.
You ever got your beard stuck in a rope?
Oh yeah, not for a few years. I don't know. It must be getting shorter. Yeah, no, that's a real pain. I had one time I was just down the bottom. I was like, I'm stuck like that by my beard, and it was stuck up in the descender. It was pretty painful. If I had a Leatherman out, I would have chopped it off. I would have.
Yeah, right.
I would have. It hurt. It was nasty. Carbide is fun to play with or use it for many uses. So you can't. You used to be able to just mail order it. It was a common thing you can get, but you can't because terrorists can reuse it really easy. So what carbide is, I don't know what it is really. It's like kind of a magical thing, but you add water to it, it makes a settling gas. So you can make a bomb out of it real easy. So if you make some kind of a device where a balloon or something, well, I won't tell you, but whatever, if water gets to it, it makes a very flammable gas, get a spark, and make a big explosion out of it. So yeah.
Our merch list, somebody asked, it's just go to eammerch.com and it'll take you to our whole shopping.
Or the other thing is, if you go to our, if you just type in Exploring Mountain Mines, you go to our homepage, and then there's a little link on there that says visit EAM Merch or something like that. I'll take you to it. So. Do not open the bonnet of your car with that beard. That's got to be an Englishman because there's no bonnets in North America. I know what a bonnet is. It's the hood, right? Yeah. Like a spanner, wrench, bonnet, hood, yeah.
Do you leave anything like your logo in the mines you explore? Just asking because I thought I saw another video that found a similar logo on a playing card.
No, that's funny. It's something that we should do
I have
because
left a few cards.
I left some cards, but I don't do it religiously. I should. We got piles of cards.
Yeah, we should.
And we were in Atolia, and we left that beer in that card there. Left my card there. And the guy said, "Oh, there's this guy." I know. Lots of times, like especially like Bly is bad that way. He'll go somewhere. Oh, nobody's been in here for 100 years. He goes down there, and there's some of his cards. It's kind of funny. We should start leaving our card just to piss people off because they'll think, "Oh, nobody's been down here for." And we think the same thing too. We go down there, like, "Oh, nobody's been down here for a long time." And then you see a pop can down there. So
what is? Oh, I dismissed it. What is more difficult? I think it's ascending or descending.
Well, physically, mentally, maybe descending is maybe a little tougher. Well, ascending is way tougher. I mean, descending, just go down there and go all the way down. It's easy. There's no problem at all. When you go back up, you're having to work a little harder. And probably the main thing is that, like I was talking to Gly about this, they kind of screwed up a bunch of stuff that makes it a lot harder. If you have anything on your back, it changes the angle, because you usually sit like that on a rope. If you have anything on your back, you're like that, and you're at a strange angle, nothing works properly. So these little things that we learn along the way just make things a lot easier.
Biggest prize from a mine?
Well, it'd be pretty hard. Well, we didn't get to keep the prize, but when they say, "Oh, it's the coolest thing I ever found in mine," but finding like, well, we say $500,000 worth of jeans because there was a pair that sold for $100,000, and there was like 8 pairs, and some of them were older, but they're not worth as much. So maybe $500,000 worth of jeans is a bunch of bullshit, but still hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jeans. It's pretty hard to cop that, really. We didn't get none of it, but whatever. How about some jackets? Do you ever explore any caves? We're in some cave. We were just in Cody Caves last summer. If you look back on there, and then in Mexico, I went into a cave, but not generally. No.
What's up with the weird flag you found a few uploads back?
Weird flag. I don't remember.
I'm from Finland.
Who's marking the mines with the paint that you see? Geologists. So, usually these mines, they get abandoned, and then somebody picks up the mineral rights to it, and then these junior mining companies most of them are just a bunch of scam artists anyway. So they go in there, and the geologists go in there, take a little chip samples. They say, they try to promote the mine and stuff, and sell stocks and stuff. So that's what it is. Geologists going in there, taking chip samples, and they mark that kind of stuff.
Most dangerous mine you've ever been in?
I'm thinking probably one that me and Sharon was in. We were in one by Weimer, they're called Dundee, and we went down about 600 feet, and it was like white and slimy and stuff, but there was too much loose stuff in there, and I got hit by a big rock there, and by the time I got up, I was so tired I could barely move, and I had a great big huge bruise on there, and I thought, Sharon, I'm sorry, I should never take you in there. We won't go in there again. Probably that was maybe the most dangerous ones we went into, one of the most dangerous ones we've been into.
Hi Frank, do you plan on coming to Terrace area again this year?
No, I don't think so. It's possible. We might end up going, kind of depends on the COVID thing. We might plan on, if we can we'd like to get into Alaska, to go to the Stuart Hyder area. Because we choppered into the Porter Idaho. We would like to hire a chopper and get a bunch of that stuff for a museum if we can. There's lots of other cool mines there and some other stuff. There's another guy I talked to that's got, up by Jade City.
Yeah. There's
a whole bunch of cool mine. We've got so many cool places we can go. So possibly. We'd like to go to the Red Rose. We ordered a new side-by-side. We're getting a Polaris side-by-side that's covered and has a heater and stuff in it. Just because late in the year, everything's all just soaking wet and snow and stuff. And we're getting old and lazy. So we'd like to be nice and warm when we go to a mine. Be honest.
I don't know. You.
Do you collect any minerals? Do you find mines? Yeah, we have a huge collection of minerals in our museum of different stuff.
Are there mines near Terrace?
You ever considered creating your own mine? You really can't. I mean, if you got a mine, you can maybe sell some cool crystals or something. To make any money on a small scale mining, it's impossible. It can't happen. Snake oil salesman will tell you otherwise, but it's just it's not a mom and pop operation. Things have changed.
You did a show on busting your camper. How did you go about fixing it? Mine did the same thing, and I'm not sure the best attack.
The bus and the camper?
You bust your camper? That must have been
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole little one when you broke the hitch or something?
Yeah. We ended up putting a whole another frame underneath the whole thing. We spent lots of money. When we were down in Mexico, the frame busted again. The Skylark trailers are the crappiest piece of shit you could ever buy. If you buy anything that you want to tow off road, most of these trailers and stuff are just made to take down the highway to a campground. As soon as this thing was almost brand new and the hitch collapsed and it fell on the road. The crap they made these days is just disgraceful.
There's lots of cool mines here in Terrace, and I've been up the Red Rose lots. It's epic, but another year or two and you won't be passable through one of the creeks.
Yeah, we were, so Kevin, my buddy there, he was up at the Red Rose, and we wanted to go to the Red Rose, and the Debaucher Bowl is up there too. But we were up there, and it was pouring rain there, and it's really thick going through, the aspen's pretty thick through in there. And, it's 12 miles or something up there. We would have just got soaked in freezing temperatures all the way up there. And I said, no, piss off, we're not going to do it. It's just going to be too miserable to go up there. But that's the reason why we're getting this new side-by-side with the cab on it, because then we would have been all nice and dry. We could have went up there. Yeah.
Are you going to visit some southern Nevada mines when you can come back to the States?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to. There's lots of cool places there. Someone asked about scuba diving in a mine. I've scuba dived in Mexico and in warm tropical waters. It's night and day between that and diving into a mine in cold water in the dark. Anything happens, you're dead, basically. We do have some really cool footage. We were in a mine that we kayaked way into, and we lost a GoPro. And I went down this shaft. So I hired this guy here, and he dove down to try to get this thing. And so you'll see it sometime. But it's... He wants me to get my certificate, and he's a commercial diver and all that. It's kind of cool and all that. Like, it's really dangerous, and I wouldn't. It's one thing just walking around the mine. If something happens, I mean, you could probably live for 24 hours or something. If something happens, if you're underwater in a mine in the dark, you wouldn't last 20 minutes and you're dead. I mean, you only have a small amount of oxygen. It's tough. There's nothing easier about it. It's difficult. Who's a better climber? Sharon seems to be quite agile. When you two get married, Sharon can climb straight up, usually faster than I can, because she's actually stronger. She's got more upper body strength and stuff, so she can go up pretty fast.
I just get scared sometimes.
Yeah, so she's a little more easier rattled than I am. So I don't know. You can. I'll go places that she wouldn't, because she's smarter than I am.
It just takes me a while usually,
Yeah.
and I get there.
Yeah. All right. If you thought about getting an underwater drone, I don't know. We got so many gizmos now. There was a company in Ontario that does remote mapping and drones and all that, and they promised to send us some stuff. They never did. So, but I don't know. We're into so many different things, and I don't know. Yeah.
What time is it over here? It's 4:13 p.m.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I've never been arrested being in a mine. I have never been arrested in, I don't know, about 30 years. So I got charged with trespassing 3 times, which isn't like a hanging offense or nothing. It's like a $200 ticket. It's like a speeding ticket. But I beat it in court each time, so never been convicted of any. I've never been convicted of any crime that I ever committed, alleged crime I ever committed the whole time. I have been filming stuff on YouTube.
No, we're in Canada, not California.
Yeah, no, we're not in California. We could prove it actually.
No.
I could pick up this monitor here and swing it around this way without unplugging anything. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of snow there, huh? It's not California. We're actually kind of lucky because we're only half a mile from the States here, and it's quite warm here. It's just around freezing. Where I used to live, and I had a cattle ranch up north of Fort St. John. The temperatures are minus, I don't know, well, in Celsius, but close to minus 40, which is the same Fahrenheit and Celsius. All right, sure. The small pocket with whatever we don't get involved with ordering stuff. You just have to go to the website, and there's a whole bunch of options. You can order whatever you want. We don't have a sweatshop in the back here. We don't make it or nothing like that.
I can change though. I did read somebody that wants a little logo, so I can.
Sharon looks after all that stuff now because I got no patience to deal with the computers and stuff. Where is your museum located? So if you go on this video or any other video, you go down there. There's a link there. It tells you on Google Earth exactly where it is. It's in Canada, British Columbia. But yeah, if you go down in the description of any of the videos, you just Google down and you can click on there and you can see where it's located. Have you ever been? I've never been in Colorado, so that'd be no.
So the guy from, I think, Terrace, that custom diesel.
Yeah.
If you do get up here, I could show you others in the area too.
Yeah, yeah. And that's, the people that say they'd like to come with us in a mine, if they know where there's a coal mine that maybe they don't have the equipment to go into or whatever, that works out the best for us because if you go to an area that you don't know, it takes a lot of time to look around and try to find mines that you can go into. So if someone's done some of that work and says they got this coal mine they can go into, that's the way,
We have
that works
trucker
out best for
hats.
us. Trucker hats.
Somebody's
Yeah.
asking, and we do have them.
Oh yeah, well, I'll put it up to the camera. So yeah,
Well, it is.
this is a kind of a pretty cool hat. Yeah.
That is a trucker hat.
I like that. There you go. You're a trucker now.
There was something else I was going to answer.
Where's all your gold? Right here.
Yeah.
My gold medal partner. First time here. I'm from Colorado. Yeah, I mean we'd love to spend. We wish we were down in the States in Colorado. Got a lot of snow there, so it's difficult in the wintertime finding mines because in the summertime you can see the waste rock piles and stuff, and that's usually the biggest giveaway as to if there's a big mine, there's a big pile of waste rock out there, and that's the biggest thing that pisses us off. People always they see some rocks and they say they're tailings. Well, that's not tailings. Tailings is what comes out of a mill. So I don't kind of prick about that, I guess, but whatever. So if you see, and that's the easiest way to find mines. You're in an area there was a lot of mines. You see big piles of waste rock. There's substantial stuff there. If it's just little piles, just little gopher holes, it's just a waste of time. You can't find nothing interesting in there. So, and we like going with the ropes and the bigger stuff. That's the more interesting stuff that we can show you. We found all kinds of little mines. They go in like, I don't know, there's other mine exploring things. They make a big deal out of going down a 50-foot or 100-foot hole. There's nothing there. We would never show that on our channel. I mean, it was just a waste of time. But whatever. I mean, we try to show you interesting stuff. But yeah, if you just have a little small pile of waste rock somewhere, you're probably not going to find anything interesting. All right. I wish I'd come to Canada. Unfortunately, I've been deported 3 times. Yeah, them border people can be kind of nasty. So you've been to Canada 3 times, so that's not bad. Greetings from Buenos Aires. Greetings. I don't know where that is, but pretty ignorant, I guess. Buenos Aires. I should know that. Well, I've heard of it, but I don't know where that is.
Where are you guys going in Canada for mine? Must mean exploration. He's got exploration.
Well, we're kind of lucky where we live. Most of the mines in Canada are close, probably within 50 miles of the U.S. border. So like a big belt where we live in Grand Forks, which is in British Columbia. Most of the mines are in mountains, right? So this is a big mountainous area here, and they had like huge silver, copper, and gold mines here. There are lots of cool mines here. So we're kind of based in this area, and we know these mines, and there's lots of cool mines here.
People saying hi from Sheffield, from Brazil, from Argentina.
Do you bring to mind weed? I know some people must have English as a second language. Does that make sense to you?
I think it's
Do you bring
just the
Do you bring weed to the mines? No. I mean, it's kind of funny thing is when you go into mines, you smell the rats. It stinks like a skunk. I can't tell the difference between weed, skunks, and rats. It all smells the same to me. And I ain't smoking neither of them. Did you ever watch TBR channel? I used to watch his stuff a little bit, but I don't know. So he's kind of part of the liberal California crowd that I don't know that gets pissed off if you're trying to take anything, try to save it. That everything should be left there or whatever. And so I don't know. You don't like me, so that's okay. Everyone's got their own opinion. Are there mines in Alaska or only open pit mining? Oh no, there's lots of coal mines in Alaska, but we couldn't get into Alaska because the borders closed because of COVID, right? So, Alaska's got some big, the Kennecott. Everyone knows about the Kennecott mines because there's a TV show about it. But that's a park, and I don't think you really get in there. But yeah, there's mines in Alaska.
Somebody was talking about a mine near Nelson, some creek, but I missed what it said.
Oh yeah, the coolest mine around Nelson is the Silver King.
Oh.
It had an 11-mile tram with 525 buckets or something. So that's the other thing that we're planning on for their museum. We're going to build a tram line here for the museum. So we got a big museum. It's like 4,000 square feet of stuff. It's all inside. We got a huge building, 100 by 40 building that's all full of mine stuff.
Thank you very much for posting these videos. Prevents most people from going into unexplored mines, the dangers, and shows us through the safety of our home the wonders of the mines.
There's real mines and dangers in mines like everything else. But to put it in perspective, we don't know if anyone's ever been hurt or killed exploring an abandoned mine in BC. Not even one. We're supposed to have 1,888 abandoned mines. So, I mean, there's been people that's been injured, skidooing along, falling into a shaft and all that kind of stuff, but they weren't exploring an abandoned mine. Just this last week, there was a fatality in a mine just north of here in Kamloops at New Gold. And what happened was there was a driller was drilling. It was probably up a ridge, was going up, hit a bunch of mud and water, and it flooded out. And he got killed. This is a tragic story, but the reason I'm telling you this is if you're working in an operating mine, it's quite dangerous. There's explosives going off underground. There's people, muck is going down chutes and trains. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's all kinds of things that kill you because other people are doing things in there. Relatively speaking, if you're just kind of tipping on through a mine, don't touch anything. It's a 100-year-old mine. There's no reason why a rock's going to fall on your head just because you have to be walking underneath it. Really, operating mines are a lot more dangerous than abandoned mines. With certain precautions. I mean, obviously you need to have lots of light and the oxygen monitors and be safe if you're doing rope work and all that. But
Crystal Creek was what he said in Nelson.
yeah, I haven't heard of Crystal Creek.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Somebody said, what's the closest to guys you've been near death in a mine?
Around a beer once, no.
I have near death experience.
Yeah, she's had a lot more than I have. Yeah. No, we haven't. I don't know. There's, in the 5-6 years, I guess I've been doing this. I don't know. I really can't think of anything. Probably, statistically, it's probably more dangerous driving up to the mine there than it is exploring it. With a side-by-side or something like that, you get it up over the bank or something, probably be as dangerous or more dangerous than exploring it. I mean,
thanks for doing what my claustrophobia won't allow. Here in Pennsylvania, I live right by the world's first electric coal mine. Town is now abandoned and has made for a super cool camping area.
Yeah. So they had electric trains here up in Phoenix here around the turn of the century. So electric trains and mines have been around for quite a long time.
I'm absolutely surprised by the courage you show when you enter the mines the way you do, but at the same time you transmit complete tranquility to me because of the tranquility with which you do it.
Well, I spent a lot of time in mines, so you kind of get used to it a little bit. So there isn't, I'm not scared of the dark, or there's no ghosts in there that I'm worried about, or all these other. It's kind of funny, a lot of people make up all these things. But, there's enough dangers in mines. It is emotionally or whatever. You're definitely having to assess the dangers as you go along all the time because you're running into stuff all the time, and you don't know what you're going to see next going around that next corner. So you're always looking at the floor and seeing if maybe something's rotten or whatever. So mentally, you're having to work pretty hard actually, and you're thinking about all these dangers. And at the end of the day, even though maybe it didn't work that hard physically, or you may have, it still takes its toll on you. Like you're exhausted by the end of the day.
I missed one. Oh, have you ever had your lights dying when you're inside a mine?
Oh yeah, but we have a light, we have a backup, we have a backup for the backup. So like 3 lights. That's the stupidest, worst thing that anyone could do is go into a mine with their cell phone for a light, which is going to freaking die on you. So it was kind of a funny story. Like last year, I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but there was a bunch of crackheads that went into a mine somewhere down in Pennsylvania to steal some copper. This guy went down with these couple chicks and they ran out of light and they were down there for a week with no light. So, but yeah, that's the most stupidest, most thing you could do is go in a mine without at least like 3 lights each. You know, because you're going along and you could fall into a winds or you'd be totally, you could not, you know, I don't think you know how dark it is in a mine. You could put your hand right here and you wouldn't see your finger. You poke your eye. There's no light in there, absolutely nothing.
Have you been in the North Star mine at Jewel Lake? Or have you ever received permission to enter?
Well, I've never hardly ever received permission to go into any mine. Generally speaking, the mines are on Crown land. You can go wherever you like. Somebody owns the mineral rights. They don't have the right to keep you out of there. If it's an operating mine, through they have some right to control people that go into there. But yeah, so that's been kind of the problem with the trespass or something. They say you're trespassing the mine. Well, you don't own the mine. You only own the mineral rights.
Have you ever used a Geiger counter?
No, we didn't. No. Radon, it's the same thing. I mean, you could have high radon counts in your basement. If you're going into a mine for a few hours or something, there could be some radon on there. So what? It's not going to be, if you're exposed to high levels up for a long period of time, you could have cancer. But if you're down there for a couple hours, it can be no difference.
What are you most afraid of when entering a mine? Mountain lions, ghosts, landslides, gas, lanterns without power?
None of the above. Yeah.
Getting lost in an abandoned mine is a good way to break an addiction.
I'm not sure what kind of addictions you have, but we don't have any.
Is the lack of allowance of entering the mines one of the reasons why this kind of show would be impossible to do on TV?
No, it's especially in America, and most of all our people that watch this stuff are in America, and because they're more interested in history than Canadians are, and you guys got 10 times more. There's 10 times more Americans there is Canadians. But the big thing in America is liability. Everyone's always worried about getting sued for everything. So that's the big problem. So we've got a TV show that. So we've worked with Discovery and all these kind of things, trying to develop something. It just never goes anywhere, and because they're just a bunch of pussies there, really, and they're worried about getting sued. If somebody sees that, they try that, then they can sue us, and it just goes on and on. And so I don't worry about that too much. Yeah, so that's the problem. It's the liability or the perception of liability.
Somebody asked if you've ever tried to dig out a drift that has been plugged or whatever.
Yeah, certainly have. Especially there's some around here. A lot of times it's just a lot of energy for nothing that doesn't go anywhere. Occasionally we've especially in this other show that we're going to do about the Hope Ruth when we got up into this other mine. Generally speaking, if you feel a lot of cold air coming out of there, it's going to result in something. If you see something's kind of plugged, there's no air moving through there. It's not likely really you're either going to be able to dig it out or it's going to lead to anything interesting.
Your worst mine experience ever?
Well, usually when you just go in a little mine, it doesn't go anywhere. That'd be pretty terrible. I really can't. Not trying to be smart ass, nothing.
Trying to get over. What did you call your knot the other day?
Ask Sharon. She can answer that question better than I am. She's had some bad experiences of mine. I haven't really.
Frank tied a knot the other day, tying 2 ropes together, and it was a bad experience. Me trying to get
Sharon's got. She's a lot smarter than I am for one thing, so she can go online, learn a bunch of knots and practice them. and tie them. My philosophy is if you don't know knots, tie lots. So I tie, 2 ropes together. It takes up a considerable amount of the rope.
A carabiner in the middle of
And
it.
she got a little flustered going up this thing, and she had trouble bypassing that knot, and she kind of slipped down a little bit. She thought she was going to
It
die,
was a near-death experience.
but she didn't die, so she was wrong.
I said near-death. Would you do another series with abandoned and forgotten places?
Yeah, we would. Like I said, I was talking to Gly this morning, and he was a cool guy to work with. But the problem is we just can't get into the States, so it'd be fun to meet up with him again. And it's kind of funny, like we're kind of joking about it. He's probably going to have more subscribers than me next year. And when I met him, he had 500 subscribers. So, so.
Have you ever fallen through a false floor?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was up in the Highlander, and the false floor I looked was pretty rotten underneath there, but it was only about 8 feet down with the water, and I fell through and I went into the mud there. It wasn't pleasant, but it wasn't a total surprise. It was a calculated risk.
A bunch of people were asking about lights, but I kind of missed it.
Love your honesty. You guys are keeping it up real 100%. Yeah, no, you're welcome. I mean, I'm not here to bullshit anyone. We enjoy what we're doing, and if you guys enjoy it too, I'm glad that you guys. Our philosophy and what we're really kind of looking for is to build a relationship with viewers and stuff, and they would just watch our shows that come out every week. It's kind of funny, the YouTube thing. If you don't have a real exciting or a sexy thumbnail or a title, people don't watch the stuff. But I don't know, maybe we don't care in a way, but we'd like to introduce what we're doing to other people, so we have to try to dream up freaking things that make people click on that title. That's the way it is. But we don't think, we're not trying to bullshit anyone. We maybe try to make it a little bit more exciting than it is. That's our goal in the long run. Try to be as honest and not, we don't make up fucking stories about ghosts and other bullshit or whatever. So I think that people who watch our stuff, if they kind of enjoy that they would support us and be interested in us. So that's our goal, right?
Guy has so much production on his clips nowadays. I prefer the more bare bone approach.
Yeah, like everyone has their own style. So Glide and he wants to keep things smooth and does a lot of editing and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, we're not really that concerned about it. We'd rather actually find you more interesting places and tell more interesting stories rather than just having such a polished approach. But his channel's pretty popular and lots of people watch his stuff. So I guess at the end of the day, everyone just kind of votes with their feet, whatever the style they prefer. So.
Someone else is asking about Cerro Gordo. We haven't been there.
We haven't been there, no.
We're
actually pretty close there. We were at Atolia, which isn't very far from there. And Cerro Gordo is not really that special a place. I mean, there were some shacks there. Well, I don't know. He makes it sound like it was the epicenter, and the San Francisco wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Cerro Gordo, which I think is a lot of bullshit. But because it's a big port. But and there's all kinds of mines in that whole area. It's a big mining area, so there's one of many areas that have mines and stuff. So yeah.
What else did I read about?
Well, we appreciate what you do. Well, thank you. So the other thing we're trying to do is, it'd be awfully kind of boring if you just walked in through mines every week and did the same thing. So we're trying to bring you, and we did that up in the Yukon. We're talking about placer gold and the reclamation of some of these other big sites and other things. And some of these videos maybe haven't been as popular, but it doesn't really matter. So, we're trying to bring you some variety and show you some different aspects of history and along the kind of the same vein as what we're trying to do. We're not going to get into cooking shows about, and that kind of stuff there. Like some of the other channels, but I can't believe some of the stuff that they've gone on to. We're just going to stick with history and mining and stuff like that. But there's lots of fascinating aspects to it that we're going to try to show you guys over time. And we got lots of cool ideas, and some of them people are interested in, some of them they won't be, but yeah. Your channel is so awesome. Thank you. Moab Wheeling.
Okay.
Sharon spent some time on her bicycle down there,
I did.
bicycling in Moab. It's kind of cool, pretty cool area. Saw some of the pictures and stuff there. So.
I'm coming to the museum as soon as I can get over the border.
Cool. Dead bodies normally are relaxing. So that's the other thing they talk about. A lot of people make up, when they're trying to promote their videos, they talk about death and near-death experiences and dead bodies, all that kind of stuff. People today, as they have been over time, are pretty respectful of human life and stuff. And if someone dies in a mining accident, all efforts are made to get their remains and give them a proper burial, and that's always been the case. So when people think there's going to be dead bodies in the mines from miners that died, it's just a lot of malarkey. It could be that some crackhead throws somebody in a mine shaft or something on a random thing. I've never heard of it happening. You're just not going to find dead bodies. I mean, we find lots of bones and skeletons and stuff in there, but it's from animals that got dragged in there, fell in there. Someone, actually, most often that, especially down in Mexico and stuff, we were in a mine there that was shafted 550 feet down. And there was a bunch of dog bones and goats and a bunch of stuff, but something dies, it gets run over on the road, they just throw it in the mine shaft because they don't want to bury it, right? So, it's something that's, kind of hyped up or something. It's kind of a lot of bullshit. You're not going to find a bunch of bodies in the mine.
What did you both do for a living before this?
What did you do, Sharon?
I was an X-ray technologist.
She was an X-ray technologist, and she retired to come and be my co-host, partner, and wingman. And I was a rancher before I started doing this, but I did lots of stuff. I worked for myself pretty much my whole life. Did trucking, airplanes and ranch.
Cerro Gordo, no.
We have not been Cerro Gordo, no.
Is there an old mine in Abbotsford, BC?
I doubt it. It's a big city. Okay, Sharon, you're going to have to entertain the folks there.
Oh, man.
I need to use the facilities.
Somebody else wanted a commercial break to go pee.
Well, there you go.
I'm not, I would not be gedonk for a commercial. So everybody can just go pee right now would be a good suggestion. No beer sponsors. I'm just waiting for you to return. I told everyone to go pee.
Aren't you supposed to be talking?
No, I told everyone just to go pee.
Doesn't mean you can keep talking. We're all going to go pee just because you say so.
It was perfect.
So the other thing that we can kind of tell you guys all about a little bit, and we know a little bit about television production. We're involved in a couple of things. So we got a show coming out. There's a show called Backroads Truckers, and it was a new show that's coming out. And what they're doing is they came here, and I took a bunch of them underground. We got an ore cart and restored it to the museum. So that's really cool. So look for that in late March. It's called Backroads Truckers. But just generally speaking, I'd like to tell you guys, I don't know if you guys are fans of Gold Rush and watch that kind of stuff. A lot of that stuff is a lot of bullshit, actually. You see Parker and all them guys, and they're there in the middle of summertime, and they're fighting in the slop and the muck, and they're getting stuck and all that. That's not even true. They don't do that at all. all that muskeg and all that, the trees are pushed off. They do that in the middle of winter when it's frozen. But there's a lot of aspects to all that kind of stuff that are kind of pretty phony. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting going up the Yukon and talking to actual real miners and stuff to see how all that is. But we still enjoy watching Gold Rush. I mean, I don't know. The character's good and it's a good story. So, like Farley Moe used to say, "Why let the truth get in the way of a good story?" I like Sharon's pictures she takes all the time. Thank you. Yeah, no, I really appreciate that too. So we try to use them on the thumbnails. And it keeps you guys watching the videos to the end where we put the pictures. When you take a UV light into a mine, there was a guy, actually, I can't remember what his name was. He donated a UV light to us, which was really cool. And we, I would just let it run.
Yeah, just talk.
So there's a guy donated a UV light to us, a really nice light. We haven't found a lot of minerals that are really phosphorescent. It's not often you see that. Are placer mines more dangerous? Well, there's nothing dangerous about a placer mine because it's just like a gravel pit. So you're just taking a huge amount of gravel, putting it through a machine, a little bit of gold spits out of there. So
Your museum in
do you ever
Grand
shoot a
Fort?
gun to mine? No, we never have.
Museum in
In
Grand
Grand
Fort?
Forks, yeah, we have a museum in Grand Forks, yeah. I would just leave it running.
I wanted
So
to
Sharon's a
read
little
some of
stressed
those.
out because it's going past. You guys' comments are going past faster than we can read them. But if you sprinkle when you tinkle,
Ew,
be neat and wipe the seat.
man.
Yeah, well, we got big toilets. It's pretty hard to miss. Discovery shows scripted. I don't know if it necessarily is, but we know from dealing with television and stuff, you think that they're just a bunch of cameras following people around. They do everything 5 fucking times, and then it goes over and over and over. So it's not necessarily scripted, but it's not, it's not what it seems, put it that way.
Have you ever been to Edmonton, Alberta area and done any exploration?
Yeah, we explored the West
Just
Edmonton
me.
Mall.
Yeah.
There's no mines around Edmonton. It's all flat there. Yeah. Do you miss driving a truck? Did you own your own rig? Yeah, I had. I worked in the oil patch and hauled drilling pipe and mud and stuff up rigs when I worked up north. It was a lot of fun. Made a crazy amount of money and worked lots of hours and retired from that. So it was a good time. It's cool working the oil patches. Driving truck and stuff on the highway is really boring, but in the back country, when you're all chained up and getting winched up with cats up steep slopes and all that, it was a lot of fun. And pays good too. So, you ever experienced anything paranormal or unexplained? No, I don't have any mental problems. I'm fairly stable. I haven't seen any ghosts under my bed or in the closet. What if I found gold ore in Minnesota? Well, I don't know what to say about that. That's probably not going to happen.
I love the fact that you guys preserve artifacts that no one would get to see. If that is one awesome aspect to what you guys do.
We were in a really old mine that's been abandoned for a long time, and all the stuff there is just about completely destroyed. We've seen it like a wheelbarrow that was upside down, and the wooden part was still there, and the metal had fallen off and was completely rusted. There was just a little bit of dust left there. And the same with like explosive box and all that kind of stuff. And you think, man, too bad somebody couldn't have taken that out there and put it in a museum where people could enjoy that kind of stuff because the nature just ends up taking it back. So.
What age did you get hooked on mine exploration?
Oh, about 5 years ago. How old am I now?
6 years ago.
Have you ever found hidden civil defense supplies in an abandoned mines? Yeah, we did. I don't know what it was called. We were up there hiking around there, and it was
you and Gly?
It was maybe it was Gly. I'm not sure.
It was me.
So what it was, there was a big paranoia about the year 2000 that people thought the world was going to end.
That was you and Gly.
Yeah, we found a whole bunch of stuff stashed in this mine. It was actually kind of bizarre. It was something from the city because there was a toilet there, like a portable toilet inside the mine, and a bunch of things with rice and a whole bunch of other stuff that people thought the world was going to come to an end. So they stashed all this stuff in this old mine, and it didn't look like it was ever touched since then.
Do you have bucket list locations?
Well, the only thing that I was kind of really wanting to go to is I wanted to go to Paris, France, and go to the catacombs. That's been kind of a bucket list thing. So, yeah. I think it's so cool because, see, back in, I don't know if you guys know that, but back in the Middle Ages, all the limestone for the city of Paris was come from mines underneath the city. There was like hundreds of miles of tunnels there. But back in the Middle Ages, when they, and even today, when they bury people in cemeteries, they don't leave them there for 100 years because after that, all the relatives are gone. Then you just take the bones and they throw them down in like catacombs down there. And there's 5 to 6 million bodies stacked up in big parts of their bones. Yeah, so I don't know, it sounds a little maybe macabre or whatever, but I think it'd be pretty cool to see millions of bodies and bones and stuff in big rooms.
Have they reopened any of the mines that you have explored?
There's some of the Golden Dawn mineral stuff, the MacMay stuff. I explored them, and they went there, did a bunch of exploration, and fixed it all up, but then they left after that. So there's hardly any there's hardly any underground mines anywhere that are operating. It's very rare for anyone to be mining underground these days. It was kind of a thing that happened late 1800s, maybe to 1830. And then after that kind of petered out. So now they have the equipment and stuff to strip stuff off from the surface and all that. Underground mines are quite rare compared to what they used to be. There's very few underground mines anywhere. So, yeah. Just got catacombs of Paris are full of graffiti writers. It's kind of cool there. Hey, Marlo. Hey, Marlo. I'm looking after your girl. It's kind of funny actually in Paris and stuff. There's a whole culture under there. There's nightclubs and there's all kinds of cool stuff in there. But it's another thing where if you go to Paris, you can't just show up there and go to the catacombs. I mean, there's a little bit of a tourist thing where you can go a little bit. If you don't have good local knowledge, you'll never get to see anything. And that's been the problem. The only reason we haven't went to Paris, we haven't been able to find anyone that would actually take us to where the cool stuff is. And there's probably not very many people that really know those mines really well.
Will you take Sharon to Antioch? I think that's supposed to say that. It says Antioch, but...
Yeah, I think it'll probably happen. We talked about this a little bit earlier. So my buddy Kevin is maybe going to take over as the operator of Antioch. And if he does, he was in Antioch. We went there 3 times, right? So he'd been there twice with me. And then it'll be just like a second home for us. And we can go there anytime we want and do whatever we want there. And they'd actually probably pay me to run in front of that loader when the barges come in. So then, then we'd go because they'd fly us up there. So it's a tough place to get to. So maybe.
What's the oldest mine you've ever been in?
We were in some old mines in Mexico. They're about 500 years old. They're not really that spectacular because, they didn't have the drills and they couldn't, and there's nothing left in them. So, sounds cool, but nothing really much to see in them. I would check Reddit for I have trouble with Reddit. I don't know. I'm not good with computers anyway, so I really can't figure out nothing. I can't navigate it. I work on a TV series called The Other Side and investigated the Atlas Mines. Have you been there? I've not heard of the Atlas Mines. I don't know who they are. We've been in hundreds of mines all over Mexico, the United States, and Canada. Big mines everywhere. I think we've probably been in more mines than almost anyone, I think. I mean, I'd imagine. I don't know. Who introduced you into exploring anything in particular? Well, when I retired here, I had an airplane and I flew over La Phoenix mine here in Canada, not Phoenix, Arizona, and it just looks like a bee's nest or something. All these big, huge holes and stuff, and I explored some mines when I was younger, so I got interested in that. Exploring with fighters here in England will show you where Paris catacombs are, but the French people don't like people going in there, as they deface everything with spray paint. I don't care if they like it or not. Yeah. Only exploration channel that I watch.
It says there are only 10 officials that can take you into the Paris catacombs. Even the personnel-owned accesses are closed permanently.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's really true. It probably isn't. I mean, there's, you know, the locals know the way around there. There's people that know the way around, and same thing here. They say, well, there's all these places closed, you can't get into them, but somebody knows how to get into places, right?
Never been to Africa.
I have not. No.
Utah. You were in Utah in some mines.
I was in Utah, yeah.
Didn't you go in some mines with those people?
Yeah, we were in Eureka. It was a kind of a pretty cool place. There was some really cool mines around Eureka. That's another place we got threatened by mining companies. They're going to sue us and all that. But yeah, we didn't pay much attention to it. So the sheriff, they call you all the time. Say, oh, yeah, I've been in some mines. Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting story. Where'd you hear that?
Yeah, my mate is a graffiti writer. He went into the catacombs and
Slated up with smoke.
chasing them about, shouting, "Who's gonna win the Super Bowl?" Forgot about that.
Yeah, Eureka's. Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. I mean, there's some really big shafts. If you looked at some of our videos, we did, I don't know when it was in Eureka, but like huge shafts going straight down, and lots of equipment there. It's a pretty fascinating place to visit if you're interested in big mines.
All of your mine equipment, what would you say is the most rare?
I don't know. What do you think? What's the most rare?
I wouldn't know that answer.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the same thing. It takes a long time to think about that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what would be most rare.
I don't know.
For every hole they seal up, another one opens up magically. Yeah, we've seen that in the like the Silver King, different places where they just sealed everything up, and some of the underground workings are pretty close to the surface. So sometimes just a big sinkhole opens up, and then it just opens back up, and then away they go. And they really can't fill that up very easily because there's just a huge void underneath there, and they have to put like thousands of tons of stuff into there. So, what's your plan for 2021? Well, we got lots of mines around here, and we can't really talk. We got a really cool one, like a huge one that we're going to have lots and lots of episodes of. Can't tell you where it is, but we'll continue on with that. And then eventually we'll hope the border opens up and get in the States by next fall or next winter if we can. So,
greetings from Germany. Somebody else says, "Tank and companion, how are ya?" You must be the tank.
We're doing well.
Sharon is the most treasure. Oh, that's from, what's his name? Ron.
Oh, Ron. Yeah. Hi, Ron. I wonder if we should, Ron knows Sharon, so he's not just knocking out of his hat, right? Turn on this light here. There we go.
Anyone ask if you've seen the channel? Yes, Ghost Town Living. Yes, we've watched it, and we've tried to contact him, but haven't heard back at all.
Yeah, he's a busy guy.
Same thing.
Yeah,
Ghost
guys
Town
going
Living,
in a bunch
Cerro
of.
Gordo.
Cerro Gordo isn't really all that unique or something. I mean, there is a bunch of mines. They're not any more exceptional than the mines we see every day. So, but yeah, he's made a pretty cool show exploring a bunch of them.
Would you consider writing a book about your experiences? We were just talking about that the other day.
Yeah, what we were thinking we might do is go back and all the episodes we've got. I think about 240 episodes or something, and just write a little bit about each of those mines and give the geographic location of them and much information. And maybe it'd be a lot of work. It would take a long time, but we were talking about that the other day, and Sharon's maybe wanting to do that. Be a long-term project, so we probably want to do that. Pennsylvania's biggest import is garbage. They fill the mine in Pennsylvania. The problem with that is you get the leaching from all the contaminants and stuff, though, and it contaminates the groundwater. So it, I don't know.
The guy's saying he likes the elevator in Cerro Gordo.
Yeah, the hoist still works in
Hoist,
Short Grove,
yeah.
and I think that's really funny. So Brett and stuff, he does that show, and I think one of the most fascinating things is that hoist because there's very few of those hoists that are working, and he's never taken the time to show the people the hoist and stuff, which I think is kind of crazy. I think it's one of the most interesting things about the show, or about the mine and the whole setup. There is the hoist. It's pretty cool. With Cerro Gordo, it's about the ghost town, not the mines. Well, there's not really that many buildings there, really.
Somebody asked about the tram. Hi from
How's your tram coming?
Australia. Hi from Sudbury, Ontario.
We've got three tram cars that are just in almost perfect conditions, pristine conditions, old tram cars, and we've got all the cable and stuff. So the next step is to get the wood and build the towers, and then we have to go back in the backcountry and get a bull wheel and the brakes and stuff for it. But we know how they operate and everything. There's lots of them around. We'll get done this year.
And that guy watched that one about the tram from Keeler to the town that we watched, the Cerro Gordo tram line.
Yeah. His see, the thing is, there, I guess most of that stuff is in pretty poor shape there. I'm saying those tram buckets are all beat all up. We got 3 tram buckets that are like perfect shape. So we're kind of ahead of him on that. And I don't know. He's kind of crying poverty there or something. He says, well, he doesn't know how to get them out of there. It will cost I don't know, $3,000-4,000 to get a helicopter or something to grab all that stuff out of there if he wanted it. So for the amount of money he's making on a show, I don't know. I think he's crying poverty all the time and trying to get money from people. But anyways, if he's really interested in history, take some of that money you're getting from YouTube and rent a helicopter and get that stuff out of there.
The Chiselhurst Caves.
We do a video on retrieving a mine cart. Actually, we've done some, and we did a video where there's a TV show about it. So if you watch history, there's a new show called Backroads Truckers, 3rd week of March, and you'll see a video of us retrieving a mine cart and restoring it for the museum. Mules would be more fun than a helicopter. I suppose.
Greetings from Turkey.
I follow you fondly. Well, thanks, and that's one thing that's always kind of amazed us of the people all around the world that are kind of interested in this kind of stuff. And the thing about in different countries, especially in Europe and stuff, there's a lot more rules. I mean, there's not that much stuff you can do. And in Canada, there's not many people live here. You can kind of do whatever you want. In America, it's a little bit more controlled. So that's the cool thing about living kind of in the Wild West or whatever here. You can kind of do whatever you want and you're not stepping on anyone's toes. But in Europe, I know it's quite a bit different. Modern man is a big softy.
Canadian mines versus American mines?
Well, the big difference in America, a lot of places we go, there's just a lot more people. There's a lot more people who live in America, so you got like a lot more people that go to the mines. So anything that you could casually walk into, there'd be nothing left for artifacts, or whatever. And in Canada, you go back in the backcountry, and there's all kinds of mines where there's nobody ever been into since they were shut down 100 years ago. So the historical aspect is better in Canada. That's what I would say.
Hello from a fellow mine explorer in New Zealand. Hi from Indianapolis.
Well, hi. We'd love to go to New Zealand someday, but it seems like lots of really. Ben, he has been in New Zealand quite a bit there, and we kind of. I don't know, we're kind of ignorant because we live a long ways from there. We kind of think New Zealand is the same as Australia, but it seems like really hot with a lot of snakes there.
I'd love to go. Why does Tony Beats let Parker mine all those good land instead of mining it himself?
Well, As part of TV, first of all, Tony Beach doesn't own most of that land. There's a company called Tamarack, which Tony he's an operator for that. It's a big multinational corporation. So Tony Beach doesn't own all that land. So it's just a matter of the water licenses and stuff, and he doesn't own it. So Tony is just a small player there, and Tamarack is a big corporation that owns most of that land. Doing much flying lately, not in the wintertime. So we got a bunch of issues in our power parachutes, so we're getting them fixed in the spring, and hopefully we'll do some more flying with it then. And the idea was actually to use it to go into a bunch more mines and find more stuff. I don't know if that's going to work, but Sharon enjoys flying a power parachute with me, so we'll hopefully we'll get into a bunch more of that stuff. Yeah. You know who asked Jeff Williams is? Oh, absolutely. I got a lot of respect for him. He's well, he's a pretty knowledgeable geologist. He knows way more about minerals and mining and stuff than I do. He's a heck of an entertainer too.
Says there's no snakes in New Zealand.
Oh, okay. There you go, see. Well, I told you we were probably ignorant. We think it's the same in Australia. Why is it that Australia's got all these nasty snakes and stuff and New Zealand has nothing? It seems like it's in the same area.
If you ever come to New Zealand, hit me up. We can show you a few locations. Sweet.
People always say that, but we don't know who they are or how to contact them.
Yeah, send us an email.
Yeah. Britain's on full lockdown and semi-military law, and hardly nothing's open due to virus madness. Here, you have to wear masks if you go in stores and stuff, and that's about it. But pretty much everything else is open. British Columbia only has maybe about 2.5 million people. There's less than 500 cases of COVID, so which isn't much really a day. So we're not really all that. It doesn't really affect us that much, other than we can't travel out of the country.
You'll flick us an email. Perfect.
And we're not really good at keeping track of all this stuff. So if somebody sent us an email or something, and I'm not very good at organizing stuff, it probably just gets lost, and I don't have your number.
I'm gonna get them organized.
We always dream about having a big book or something where we get so many people who contact us, but we can't keep track, or I can't keep track of them, but maybe Sharon's going to help me.
Yeah. What beer are you drinking? Caribou or some crazy thing?
Caribou. Yeah, this kind.
People have still wear masks, but sadly still buy it. I don't know what that meant. It's too cold in New Zealand.
It's too cold in New Zealand. Here it's around freezing. So, but February. It's usually cold in Canada in February, right?
Kept us entertained during last year. Thank you.
Well, we enjoy that too. We don't have much else to do, so it's lots of fun going to mines and making videos out of it, and it makes you feel good if other people appreciate it and they watch them. Yeah, thanks. I really enjoy all the support. Drinking a Modelo. They're really good. Drank lost them in Mexico. They're really good. The dark Modelo, I like that.
24 degrees Celsius right now in New Zealand.
Oh, that's not bad. That's a nice day.
That's nice.
You ever find any gold in any of the mines? Well, not that I know of. Gold in hard rock mines is normally microscopic, so we found some good gold-bearing ore, but we don't know if there's any gold in it. It's a complicated process to get the gold out of the ore and process it. What happens to your museum? Come final day, you have some form of trust to keep it for future generations. Sorry, don't mean to be morbid. We've talked about that quite a bit, and that's what I plan on doing is setting up some kind of a trust or something. Probably got quite a few years left. I mean, I'm like 58 or something, but we definitely want to do that. We've talked about it a lot, some thought about it. We don't have any a clear path forward. Probably the best thing is to set up some kind of a foundation and get a board of directors. It's pretty complicated. So, but we'll work on that over the years. Thanks for your show. Enjoy your Saturday night. Thanks, Craig. Cheers to you guys. I'm checking out. Thanks for the stream. And we probably should too. We've been chatting for a while, and thank you for everyone that tuned in. So I guess we first started there. So next week we're going to be going to Sandon, and we're going to be talking to Hal about this really cool silver play here. So there's a mining company called Klondike Silver. Their shares were down to $1.50. It's a really historic mining area. Their shares went way up to 27.5 cents. We're going to go in there and we're going to explain the whole history of this silver mine, this whole historic thing, and go through all the mines and stuff, and talk about silver and mines and how it worked and all that kind of stuff. So thanks a lot for joining us. Really enjoy all the support, and take care, and we'll see you soon, guys.
You're still a young spring Canada chicken.